Jnanakosha, Upanishads.
ॐ गणानां त्वा गणपतिगुं हवामहे कविं कवीनामुपवज्रमस्तमं ज्येष्ठराजं ब्रह्मणान् ब्रह्मणस्पदान् शृण्वन्नोतिभिः ॐ पूर्णमिदं पूर्णमदः पूर्णात् पूर्णमुदच्यते पूर्णस्य पूर्णमादाय पूर्णमेव अवशिष्यते ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः ॐ सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः
Krishna Yajurveda Upanishads. Yoga Sikha Upanishad. Om, may he protect us both together. May he nourish us both together. May we work conjointly with great energy. May our study be vigorous and effective. May we not mutually dispute. Om, let there be peace in me, let there be peace in my environment, let there be peace in the forces that act on me. First chapter. All the living beings are surrounded by the net of illusion. O God, Parameshwara, O God of gods, how will they attain salvation? Be kind enough to tell, asked Lord Brahma to Lord Parameshwara. And he replied, some people say that the only way out is jnana. To attain occult powers, that alone will not suffice. How can jnana without yoga lead to salvation? It is also true that yoga alone without jnana will not lead to salvation. So the one who aims at salvation should learn jnana and yoga together. Like a rope ties a bird, the minds of all living beings are tied. Enquirers and researchers do not affect the tie of this mind. So the only way to win over this mind is through victory over prana. There is no other option to get victory over prana except yoga, and there are no methods except those shown by siddhas. So I am teaching you this yoga sikha, head of all yogas. It is greater than all jnanas. After sitting in either Padmasana, lotus position, or any other asana, and after concentrating the sight to the tip of the nose, and after controlling both the hands and legs, meditate on the letter Om with a concentrated mind. If one continuously meditates on Parameshwara, he would become an expert in yoga, and the Parameshwara would appear before him. If we sit in an asana and continuously practice, the bindu will cease from going down. Without puraka and rechaka, the prana would stand in kumbhaka for a very long time. You would hear different types of sound. The nectar will start flowing from the place of the moon. Hunger and thirst will cease. Mind would get concentrated on the ever-flowing place. The 4 steps for this are mantra yoga, laya yoga, hatha yoga, and raja yoga. The great maha yoga, which is one, has been divided into 4 and named as above. The prana goes out with sound hum and goes in with the word sa, and all beings naturally chant the mantra hamsa, hamsa. This is chanted in the Shushmana after being taught by the Guru in an inverted manner. This chanting of the mantra Soham, Soham is called Mantra Yoga. Sun is the letter Ha and moon is the letter Tha. The joining of sun and the moon is the Hatha Yoga. Due to Hatha Yoga, the idiocy, which is the cause of all doshas, is swallowed. When the merging of Jivatma and Paramatma takes place, mind melts and vanishes, and only air of prana remains. This is called Laya Yoga. Because of Laya Yoga, that heavenly Swatha Mananda Saukhya, the well-being of the joys of one's own soul, is attained. In the great temple of middle of Yoni, the female organ, the principle of the Devi, which is red like hibiscus flower, lives as Rajasa in all beings. The merger of this Rajasa with the male principle is called Raja Yoga. As a result of Raja Yoga, the yogi gets all the occult powers like anima. You have to understand that all these four types of yogas are nothing but the merger of prana, apana, and samana. For all those who have a body, their body is the temple of Shiva. It can give them occult powers. The triangular part in between the anus and penis is called the Muladhara. This is place where Shiva lives as a life-giving force. There, the Parashakti called Kundalini lives. From there, wind is produced. The fire is also produced from there. From there only the sound Hamsa and the mind are also produced. This place which would give whatever is asked for is called Kamakyapitam, the seat of passion. In the edge of the anus is the Swadhisthana chakra and 6 petals. Near the belly is the Manipura chakra with its 10 petals. In the place near the heart, the Ananta chakra with its 12 petals exists. And hey, Lord Brahma, this is called the Purnagiri Pitha. In the depression in the throat, Vishuddhi chakra with its 16 petals exists. Hey Lord of Lords, that is the Jalandhara chakra. In between the eyelids in the Agna chakra with its 2 petals, over that is the Mahapitha called Udayana. Second chapter. This world functions because of the unclear foundation power which is described as Mahamaya, Maha Lakshmi, Mahadevi and Mahasaraswati. That power shines in a micro form as a bindu dot on the Pitha seat. The bindu breaks the Pitha and emerges from there in the form of Nada, sound. That Nada Brahma assumes 3 shapes, macro, micro and external. The macro form is the big shape which is pervaded by the 5 Brahmanas. The micro form which arises from the Nada with its 3 bijas, roots, is the form of Hiranyagarbha. Para is the ever true property of Satchitananda. By continuously chanting the Atma mantra, the glitter will occur in Paratattva, the philosophy of the external. For the yogi who has stopped its mind, this appears in the macro and micro form similar to the flame of the lamp, moon's crescent, like a firefly, like a streak of lightning, and like the glitter of stars. There are no greater mantras than Nada, no gods greater than Atma, no greater worship than the meditation, and no pleasure greater than satisfaction. My devotee who understands this would remain stable in his happiness. To that great man who has great devotion to God as well as similar great devotion to his teacher, all this would be understood automatically. Third chapter. That great ever-living Nada is called Shabda Brahma. It is the strength residing in the Muladhara. Para is the foundation for its own self and is of the form of Bindu. That Nada coming out of Parashakti, similar to the germ coming out of the seed, is called Pashyanti. The yogis who are able to see using the Pashyanti Shakti understand that it is the whole world. That power produces sound like a rain starting from the heart. Hey Lord of Lords, there is called Madhyama. It is called Vaikhari, when it emerges, merges in the sound form with prana and exists in the throat and jaw. It produces all the alphabets from A to Ka, Cha. From alphabet words arise, and from words rise the sentences, and from them all the Vedas and mantras. This goddess Saraswati lives in the cave of intelligence in all beings. In meditation, when willpower melts, you can reach this para tattva. Fourth chapter. Because the divine power is single, there are no differences there. You have to understand that the thought process of living beings is like seeing a snake in a rope. When you do not know it is a rope, and then for a small time the rope appears as a snake. The ordinary intelligence is similar to this. We see everything as the world that we see. There is no reason or basis for this world to be different from this Brahman. So the world is only Brahman and not anything different. If you understand the para tattva like this, where is the cause for differentiation? The Taittiriya Upanishad, fear, has been told as belonging to that foolish person who finds a difference between Jivatma and Paramatma. Though this world has been told as something to be experienced in the next moment, it vanishes like a dream. There is no state of waking up in a dream. There is no dream in the state of waking up. Both of them are not there in Laya. Laya is not in both of them. All these three are illusions created by the three characters. The one who sees this would be above characteristics and would be forever. The Chaitanya starts in the form of the world. All these are Brahman. It is useless to differentiate it as Atma and Anantma when dealing with wise people. And wise people, the foolish man thinks that body is attached to the soul. The belief that pot is mixed with the mind and the belief that it is mixed with the mud and the water is mixed with mirage, and similarly the belief that body is mixed up with the soul is because of taking recourse to ignorance. Fifth chapter. That yogi who has mastered yoga and who has complete control over his senses would attain whatever he imagines. The teacher, Guru, is the Brahma. He is Vishnu and he is the Lord of Lords, Sadashiva. And there is nobody greater than the teacher in all the three worlds. We should worship with devotion that Parameshwara, who is the great soul, who has taught us the divine knowledge. The one who worships like that would get the result of jnana fully. Do not keep your aim because of the wavering mind on occult powers. The one who knows this principle well is the one who has attained salvation. There is no doubt about it. Sixth chapter. That great light in which the Bhuloka, Bhuvarloka and Suvarloka and the sun, moon and fire gods are but a small part in the letter Om. When mind wavers, the worldly life, and when it is firm, the salvation will result. So Lord Brahma, using great intelligence, we have to keep the mind not to waver. For desire to possess wealth, the mind is the reason. When that is destroyed, the world would be destroyed. One should with lot of effort start the treatment for that. When a man looks after his mind, using his mind, and realizes that it has stopped running, he would see the Parabrahman, which is very difficult to see. The yogi is able to get salvation by seeing his mind with his mind. We have to see the mind with the mind and hanker for that mad state. We have to see the mind with the mind and be stable in yoga. In any place where the wind moves, the mind also wavers. Mind is called moon, sun and wind, sight and fire. The Bindu, Nada and the Kala are the gods Vishnu, Brahma and Ishvara. By constant practice of Nada, the bad influences will vanish. That which is Nada becomes the Bindu and then becomes the mind. One has to clearly aim at the unification of Nada, Bindu and Chinta. Mind itself is the Bindu, and that is the reason for the state of creation of the world. Similar to milk being produced by the cow, Bindu is produced by the mind. The one who realizes well the six wheels, Anga Chakras, enters the world of pleasure. One has to enter it by controlling the airs in the body. One has to send the air Vayu upwards. One has to practice Vayu, Bindu Chakra and Chinta. Once the yogi realizes Samadhi by one of them, he feels that everything is nectar-like, similar to the fact that the fire inside the wood cannot be brought out without churning it by another wood, without practicing the lamp of wisdom cannot be lit. Adopting his teacher as the one who pilots the ship, and by adopting his teachings as the stable ship, with the power of constant practice, one crosses the sea of this birth. Thus tells this Upanishad, Om, may he protect us both together, may he nourish us both together. May we work conjointly with great energy. May our study be vigorous and effective. May we not mutually dispute. Om, let there be peace in me. Let there be peace in my environment. Let there be peace in the forces that act on me. Here ends the Yoga Sikha Upanishad belonging to the Krishna Yajurveda.